Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. As Ritalba said, I'm here to represent the foundation, and I think you can discreetly see by my outfit. And we'll be talking about the foundation from 2017. Oh, thank you. From 2017 onwards, I think most of you might know the foundation from the story of the airplane that flew around the world using only solar energy, and also by initiator Bertrand Piccard. But today, we're here to talk about the role of the foundation in boosting the adoption of clean and profitable technologies. So as I said, the foundation started its story in 2003, and up until 2016, basically all the activities were to develop and make the airplane fly around the world. Once it was completed, then Bertrand Piccard, the initiator, the gentleman you can see here in the pictures, decided to launch a new challenge, which was to select 1,000 solutions that could help tackle environmental challenges. And the idea was to do that by assessing their environmental and also their economic performance. In last year, roughly 1 year ago, we achieved this milestone of selecting the 1,000 solutions, and since then we'll be focusing on implementing, presenting them to the relevant stakeholders. So today, our key activities are basically, we kept on certifying the solutions, we've been focusing a lot on accelerating them and financing them, and also advocating for them. And as you can see here on the slide, our activities also include several fields, mostly related to the SDGs from the Agenda 2030, and they go from energy to agriculture and also freight. First point, certifying. Of course, when the challenge was launched, we needed to create the selection criteria that would be chosen to select these solutions, right? So as I said, this label, although we said certifying here, we're not talking about ISO certification or anything that's based on international standard. The efficient solution label is a hybrid label that takes into consideration 5 selection criteria. As you say here, the credibility, scalability, environmental benefits, the client economic incentive, which is basically the total cost of ownership of these for the buyers, and also the profitability of the seller, measured either current or within the next 5 years. So the credibility is basically the technological proof of concept, to see if that technology is credible. The scalability, we then analyze from throughout the supply chain if the innovator has all he needs to scale up. Of course, we're not looking only for great scale, we're looking to intended scale. So if there are certain businesses that are more niche market or certain businesses that are not large scale, they're still eligible for the labeling scheme. The environmental benefits are basically to understand through a life cycle assessment throughout the value chain if these impacts are positive based on the mainstream. So let's say if we take a cup, we will understand then the alternative that has roughly 40% of the market, and if you present a solution that we still replace this mainstream alternative, you should have a lower environmental impact. As I said, the client's economic incentive is based on TCO, the total cost of ownership, and that includes also solutions that might have a higher price, but that have a return of investment, right, for the customers. And the seller's profitability is basically the innovators are asked to present their business plan, and if within the next 5 years they cannot reach the break-even point, they are not eligible. So these 5 selection criteria, they go through an internal validation process and an external validation process. And I'm not going to use this presentation to go in depth about these, the labeling scheme that we created, but I would like to say that these independent experts made it possible for us to reach the milestone of 1,000 solutions, and I'm happy to say that 2 of them are here today. One is Shekeb and Ritalba, and the other one is Ritalba, which is also an ambassador of the foundation. So after we achieve the milestone, we focus on accelerating it. How do we accelerate? Of course, the decision to adopt and diffuse clean technologies are basically taken at the company level or the actor level. But there are a series of indirect aspects that might influence this decision-making process, right? So we need to put visibility, we need to increase the credibility of those innovators, of these clean technology providers, so they can be on the spotlight and the decision makers can see them. In order to do that, we created the Solutions Explorer. The Solutions Explorer is basically a marketplace-like tool, and any of you here can access our website and look for solutions based on filters, right? So you go and You can choose the application, the geographical location, the target client of the solution, and today we have roughly 1,400 solutions that are exposed on the marketplace, which also allows you to get in contact with this innovator. So if you're looking to a business opportunity, business partner, a supplier, or even someone to exchange anything about the technology embedded in the solution, you can access this Solutions Explorer and try to reach out to the innovator in question. The other thing we do is a more targeted initiative. It's called the Innovation Challenge. So those challenges are basically to put the innovators in contact with our corporate partners. So we have today we have 15 to 16 corporate partners, and they're constantly looking to let's say to reach the net zero, so to reduce the environmental and the carbon footprint. And for that, they need new suppliers, they need new technologies, and the innovators have the chance to present the technologies and be selected as business partners. And this here you can see an example of the Positive Home Challenge that we partner with ADEO to organize. Actually, the second edition of this challenge is happening next week. And the first edition had over 300 candidates, 50 shortlisted solutions, and more than 25 of them were tested by ADEO. And here it's interesting to say that IoT devices had a very interesting impact, because most of the solutions they were looking for were for smart homes. So we had these water appliance, we had the energy consumption monitoring systems for homes, and I can see IoT here present in many of the solutions that we have presented to them, and overall to the solutions that we have labeled. Financing. Same way we organize the innovation challenges with business partners and corporate partners that we have. We also organize the e-pitch programs and sometimes physical pitch programs with the investors that we have. Sometimes we organize them with BNP Paribas, with Schlumberger, with other European Investment Bank and other partners that we have. Sometimes we gather all the investor community, and then we create a thematic, let's say, women leadership or energy management systems or water measurement systems. So we create these thematics, circular economy, and then we find innovators with needed thematics and we present them to investors so they can raise funds. Second thing about financing that we have launched last year was the investment fund. So in partnership with BNP Paribas, Alliad, which is the fund from Air Liquide, and Rothschild, we have created a fund that gathers 400 million euros, both to early stage and to late stage solutions. So for those who want to develop the technology, those who want to scale up, and those who want to commercialize and need the capital to do that. But because capital and market is not only what the solutions are looking for when it comes to sustainability, we also advocate for them. So through the speeches of Bertrand Piccard, for his position as UN Climate Ambassador and also advisor for the European Commission, we speak on behalf of these solutions and we present them through written reports that we call the Solutions Guide, which is basically a compilation of these solutions based on the application. So they can be applied to cities, they can be applied to circularity, they can be applied in agri-food chains. Depending on the application, we'll prepare a compilation of these solutions to present to decision makers. Here I would like to illustrate what I just said, which is basically more relevant to the conference here today. The IoT solutions and the AI efficient solutions that have been labeled so far. So as you can see, all the work that the foundation does is in alignment with the UN 2030 agenda. So we work with 7 of the SDGs, and we've seen the transversality of IoT when it comes to sustainability, when it comes to SDGs. And here I would like to present to you briefly just 5 of the solutions that we have labeled that are relevant and present IoT solutions embedded in it. So the first one is a water-saving and energy-saving appliance, device that you can install to save water and energy on your showers. The second one is basically on waste management. The third one on energy management system, and so IoT device that you can use to do that. The fourth one you can see up there is in agriculture, so the 3B Hive Tech. So this is for monitoring. So you can use the IoT to monitor whether your crop is healthy or not, and then that keeps you from using excessive chemical products, and that gives you the real-time data that you need. And the other one is basically for freight. I've seen here earlier on that there was a presentation, a solution that was presented to freight, and we also noticed that when it comes to mobility, last-minute transport, and also freight transportation, IoT and monitoring devices are very important, especially because now the International Shipping Organization have been working a lot on reducing the environmental impact of shipping and containers and all the transport logistics. And I think IoT and AI have a really important role when it comes to that. And as I said, everything we've done, it relies a lot on the partnerships that we have established, both in the private and the public sector. That's why I would like to share with you this slide to show and to give you a little bit of overview of our ecosystem. So the work we've done so far has relied a lot on the ecosystem that we have built. Today, I'm happy to say that we have more than 4,000 members of our alliance. And within our database of contacts, when it comes to sustainability and clean tech, we have reached over 17,000 contacts that we constantly activated when we're organizing events, when we want to boost the implementation of these clean and profitable technologies. As I said, we're supported by external capital coming from the corporate and also from the government agencies that we work with. And our labeling scheme is audited by EY, which is our auditing partner, giving a third-party validation to our process. That's what I had to say. So if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer.
Thank you.